Finally, he says recording's in progress, which also means the latest episode of Make City Make Spence is now in progress and recording. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, August 25th, 2025, year of our Lord. And things in the Detroit City world, like life, have ups and downs, peaks and valleys, roller coasters, everything that you can name of. We're going to talk about it all. Garrett Komat's here, not alone, joined as always, the production maestro of the Majors Detroit operation, Adam Hernandez, the namesake of Make City Make Spence, keeper of the pizza mines, architect of the Words About Shaves Patreon, which you can subscribe to for $3 a month. Sean Spence, gentlemen, good evening. Are we ready to get into it?
Let us do the thing.
I
Let's
love it.
go.
I love it. Let's go. All right. So we're talking ups and downs and everything in life. So this is where I'm going to do a disclaimer now for people. Part one, we're going to be talking about on the field for Detroit City FC, the last two matches that have taken place since our last recording. And I'll say this. We have a lot of there's some positive. It's maybe the most positive part of the show. So this is the feel good section of Make City Make Spence today. So, whether you need to crack the windows open for the air or just breathe in the good vibes, this is going to be it. Don't worry, we'll get to the rest of it later on in part two. But let's start off with the happy vibes for part one. And that is the last two matches. One home, one away, and one home for Detroit City FC. Coming off their 1-0 away win, 1-0 home win against Indy 11 on Saturday, August 9th. 6 days later, saw Detroit City FC travel to Cary, North Carolina, and a Friday night tilt on CBS Sports Network against the then third place North Carolina FC. A matchup that saw Detroit City fall behind in the first half, although plenty of some chances to equalize. Second half, though, saw the equalizer come in. Great through ball from Kobe Hernandez Foster to Darren Smith, who ended the goal drought. Not so much maybe either way in that 1-1 draw, but a nice come from behind uh, result for Detroit City to get the point. Only the third time that they have done that on the road all season. Colorado Springs in March, Phoenix Rising in April, and now North Carolina in August. 6 days later, saw Detroit City back at historic Keyworth Stadium in their new fancy sunset kits on Wayne State night, which I will say it was interesting that they had green and yellow Wayne State hats when the Tampa Bay Rowdies were in town. Adam took a great photo of that for those that want to check it. Maybe we'll drop that online. But a very maybe Detroit City's best performance in the field since April 19th. Goals in the first half by Atis Juf and Darren Smith. Darren having a second goal in the second half called off. Mother Nature came in with the lightning, a little elongated delay, hour plus, but at the end of the day, 2-0 the final for that. Three unbeaten in USL Championship League play for Detroit City FC. The first time they've had a multiple match unbeaten run in league play since their 6-match run from April 5th to May 18th, which was 2 draws, 2 wins, 4 draws. And now, depending on where you check out your USL championship standings, will show Detroit City either in fifth or sixth. FOTMob says fifth. I believe Pittsburgh Riverhounds does have the tiebreaker over Detroit City due to head-to-head. Both teams are on 28 points. A 5-point gap over the eighth place Indy 11, a seventh place gap over ninth place, currently out of the playoffs, defending Eastern Conference champions Rhode Island FC, and which includes new haircut and mustache Maxi Rodriguez. So, gents, we're seeing a run that's starting to look as bright as those yellow shirts City wore on Saturday. Um, are we feeling that upbeat about the play too, or are we not there yet? Sean Spence?
In a word, yes, I'm feeling that upbeat about the play. It does. Um, the way we're playing now, to me, looks like a sort of improvement or further tinkering of the way we were setting out to play at the beginning of the year. It's like we didn't come out in some kind of different shape or do different things. We did kind of all the things we've been trying to establish. It's just that with this group, suddenly it's coming together, and there are reasons for that. I think it's taken some injuries and some shuffling to get together a midfield that can function. Um, I would say that Haruki Yamazaki is probably the most promising of the candidates for right wing back, but it took Reese Williams, breaking his leg, and um, Matt Sheldon being moved inside to play at right center back, to kind of open that spot. And given those changes with Kobe and with Haruki and with Ates Juf now regularly starting, coming in off the left, in the spot that Ben Morris would have had minutes in. Um, you really saw it come together in this match to me. Tampa Bay really struggled to get a grip on us, to get a grip on the match, to keep the ball. We kind of overwhelmed them. And um, so that's one thing. The personnel's coming good. They're melding together, I think, fairly well. The other thing is that you know this team sets out as kind of a shapeshifter team. They don't have, you know, the way they played against Tampa Bay. You would struggle to say what the thing they're trying to do is. They're trying to do a lot of different things, all the things. And that means that it's very difficult to, there's not the one thing you can really focus on, spend all week, honing to get better at, and thereby create a big problem. It's very, multivariant type of system, and increasingly it looks to me like Danny and his technical staff are coming to grips with the guys that they have and are starting to make horses for courses changes that are impacting the way we play. And I mean, you don't have to look any farther than putting Matt Sheldon in at right center back, because then okay, so we go into the shapeshifter mode where sometimes we're four, um, and the right wing back is off roaming, being either either stepping into midfield or moving right up the right wing. Um, and when you've got Matt Sheldon filling that role, now you've got somebody who could actually be a fullback in a four, right? It's not Shane Weed out there trying, just like, well, it's the world's tallest wing back. What are you going to do? Uh, the it and then when we collapse back, Matt is clever enough to play that role, even though you, it's unlikely to be a place where he's starting weekend we like two or three times in a row, because if he's there, you're just going to bomb crosses to that back post and make him defend crosses all night, and eventually it will bite us. But that's the thing with when you change every game, when you swap things around, when you have sort of established principles but not established patterns. You are kind of people are knife fighting against the darkness when they try to figure out what to do against you. And so I mean I am incredibly hopeful for the remainder of the season, given the level of play I've seen against North Carolina and especially against Tampa Bay. Now, caveats. Tampa Bay, bad, right? This is a bad Tampa Bay side. And the addition of Kobe immediately makes our midfield so much more credible that we just look a lot better. you know, a lot of the breakdowns were when your midfields breaks down. It's the kind of thing that if you're not like super clued in, it's hard to see what's happening. It's like, and then we just give it away, and then we just give it away, and Um, so when you see Tampa Bay just giving it away, I mean that's us winning the midfield, and there we will face teams that are not going to get completely stymied by the midfield. Where the play is more 50-50 because that was really like a 70-30 game to me. Like we kind of 2 goals up, and really, I really felt like uh, once we scored that third goal, that should have counted. I don't know what they counted. They called him offside. It had to be a
We've heard
foul, right?
mixed. We
Because
we were
because
talking
like
about it last night. Like it could have been a handball or offsides. TV said offsides.
but TV said offside, but then they showed a replay where he's clearly not offside. Like
I
he's
thought I
he's still a
go ahead,
half
Sean.
yard behind the furthest forward defender as he's like in the air to head the ball. Like the ball is halfway there. Like dude, there's no way he was offside. So like I don't unless he I don't know. I've looked at it a couple times and I was just like I don't see it. I don't get it. But anyway, I think that what my point was that it felt like after we didn't get that third goal. That was when we were kind of like, all right, well, let's just see this out. We weren't really trying to create chances that much anymore. We were much more cautious, and that was when Tampa Bay, held more of the ball and all that because we were kind of like, yeah, all right, knock yourself out. Like, we're pretty
That
sure
was
we could.
after like the hour delay
Right,
plus, and
right,
everyone
yeah.
was just like, end it.
Right. Yeah. That last 15 minutes, we're just like, okay, well, like, we're pretty confident you're not going to get 2 goals. Like, um, so maybe we'll get found out a little bit when we're up against elite midfields. I'm curious. I'd like to see, how we fare against Charleston now, against Louisville now. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
Um,
Adam, you were going to say, because you mentioned when we did Sportscast last night, you were talking like, I think you heard an official reasoning.
I heard some of I thought I heard some of the media people down there afterwards saying that it was a handball, which is why it was called off. Um, it got the shoulder, um, and that's what I thought I heard when I was down there. As far like I said, as far as why it was called off, they're saying I thought I heard handball. Um, so
okay. Well,
also
that makes more sense than offside.
yeah, because I didn't see the
But,
assistant's flag go up or anything like that either. So
yeah, I was kind of yelling at the TV, like, clearly not offside. This was Sarah's birthday weekend, so we had other things we had to do.
happy
Um,
birthday, Sarah.
yeah,
Happy birthday, Sarah.
that was yesterday was the day. So we are
Uh, Adam, I'm going to ask something you mentioned also too, and I think this is another good thing about this run lately for Detroit City FC, because we mentioned in the summer that part of our identity that was lost was our inability to defend how we used to.
Hmm.
And if you look at the last four matches at Keyworth Stadium in all competitions, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Westchester, Indy 11, Tampa Bay, and the second half of Hartford Athletic, the match before Pittsburgh, no goals conceded. The last time we conceded goals at Keyworth was the two we gave up in the first half on July 12th for Hartford. Um, take away the Rhode Island penalty, and you're in a run where you're potentially much more consecutive unbeaten in the league. Um, how much we often said to sometimes to a fault that our bet about how valiant our defense was. Sometimes we said it at the sake of our offense, but just now, where Sean, you mentioned it too, Matt Sheldon popping in, playing that hybrid RCB, RB, occasional high up fullback to a little bit midfield tweaks. It seems like they're putting whether it's a Ryan Williams or a Kobe in front of the back three now, and now you're shifting in. Just how huge is it? Is it is this defense being good as much, if not more important than this a team starting to score goals?
I mean, I
Um,
think they're all. Oh, you're talking to me. You're talking to Adam.
I was going to add him first, and then
Oh,
if you
okay.
want to
Sorry,
pop
sorry,
in, John.
sorry.
oh no, you're good. I think it starts with the defense because I think the potential is there on the defense. I think the best player on the pitch resides on the defense in Devin Amumensa. Um, this team's identity resides on that back line. So I'm going to say everything is built out from there, which, in my opinion, was the reason why it was so important that Kobe Hernandez Foster, it was important that he worked because if he didn't work and he wasn't able to be there to help make that transition from the backfield up to the forwards, I thought this team was, from a performance standpoint, they were going to be in a lot of trouble. Um, and like I said, I mean, I said it last night when we recorded Detroit City Sportscast that all of this is being done too without Stephen Carroll back. Who I'm assuming it's going to be coming back soon. Um, but I think it's more important. I think the defense coming around, pulling themselves together, looking strong finally this year is the most important aspect to this team's success moving forward. Scoring goals is definitely important too. Obviously, you don't score any goals, you're not going to win. But um, I I I think that this team's success, um, obviously since Trevor came on board back in 2019, has been based around that, and I think that needs to continue even after obviously he's gone. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the defense.
How about you, Sean?
I just I think they're all connected. I think the reason the defense is looking better is because the midfield has not given up so many what in hockey would be odd man rushes
Mhm.
by turning the ball over and putting the defense into very difficult we've got we've got good defenders. We don't have defenders who are going to run with a guy really, like gonna get beat at midfield and catch the guy up and make the tackle. Like if that guy's got wheels, he's gone.
Right.
Um, and and we really, for when we set up to play possession football at the beginning of the year, and when that started to come apart for us, the defense came apart. But it's because we were trying to play possession style football, and getting broken on all the time. So there were times where the defense was bad, but I don't think that was the overarching reason for the goals. I think it all is linked together. Um, and so, now that we're offering more threat and not turning the ball over so much, first of all, we get more looks, more promising situations that, where you start to not feel so much pressure to turn each one into something magical, where the key to scoring goals a lot of times is being relaxed when the chance comes to you and not, snatching at it and being desperate. But when you're only creating like three decent like situations even in 90 minutes, like you're going to snatch at it because, you know, shit, it's gonna be half an hour before we do anything like this again. And this group is not producing a huge number of shots at this point, but they are definitely creating a much larger number of situations where shots are imminent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're able to keep the ball in the attacking zones, and that to me was one of the most impressive things about this performance against Tampa Bay was that, like, for example, Jesse El Cedeno, who has spent most of the year being um, a pure kind of number 10, ball hungry. Um, uh, when he started this week with Kobe behind him in the midfield, it seemed like he was he was enjoying possibly being one of two creative axes, and like Kobe's kind of tilting left and he's kind of tilted right, and like they created different zones that they could work in, and that seemed to work pretty well. And I think that's just the players. I don't think that's really like anybody drawing it out on them and saying, "Here's what we're gonna." I think it's just the players kind of expressing themselves and like this is what happens. Um, but I don't. I am. I think it's all linked together. I think the fact that our build up is more credible and calmer leads to the defense having a lot fewer, you know, like like insanely difficult situations to defend. It also means that the offense starts to kind of be able to get into their groove and do that you know 6-man attack, spread the ball, keep the ball thing that pretty much every team in the world now does when they're in a full blown attacking situation. And I don't know, it all looks really really good right now. But of course, recency bias is a strong thing.
Yep.
There's a reason for that though, because in football, like your football is always moving, right? Like what your team is trying to do is always moving. So the latest evidence is the most important. And our latest evidence is really fucking good. So
And I think another thing too, in recency bias, it's been a while since we felt this good about on the field stuff. So I'm going to take a little bit of what we can get
yeah,
in this moment
yeah,
and kind of enjoy it.
yeah.
Um,
In
we're
case
not,
you were listening to this like 2 years from now, what's going on in the real world is there are National Guard troops of several different states in Washington, D.C. right now. And Trump is talking about doing the same thing in Chicago, which is not a federally controlled city, which is just an American city with a lot of brown people. So, could be coming to a city near you, near us, uh, sooner than you'd like. So, hey, fans of the future, hey, everything's great.
Enjoy
uh,
enjoy Detroit City FC before
Right, right,
before federal troops start marching
right.
onto
Yeah,
Woodward.
right.
um, prediction stuff so far, because we predicted 3 games the last time we were here. So far, Adam's the one that's Adam's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Uh,
He
Sean Sean picked a loss to North Carolina and a win versus Rowdies. I went the opposite direction because, of course, I said we'd beat North Carolina and lose the Rowdies because I expect the worst at times.
No, I said
Uh,
I said we'd draw against the Rowdies. I got both wrong, and then I
you got
said we
both?
I said win or loss, draw, win.
Okay.
So yeah, I wasn't right about anything.
Adam's 2 for 2 so far. Picked the draw versus North Carolina and the win versus Tampa Bay Rowdies. You said loss for San Antonio. Are you still feeling that way?
No, I said win versus San Antonio. Yes.
Adam,
Oh, Adam. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
Yes, I'm gonna go loss against San Antonio.
I,
Why switch it? Why switch it up?
fuck it, you're going for you're going for the jackpot. Um,
yeah, you already won. You can just
yeah.
you're 2-0 against 2-0-2s.
Next two
Garrett says
games,
he'd buy me Taco Bell if I get 3 for 3.
fuck you. You're Taco Bell. I've heard only because you bitch about how much of you hate your going to your Taco Bell on the way home from Keyworth. Uh, um, next two matchups. So part of this 3 game homestand for Detroit City FC is Western Conference opposition. In fact, the next 4 games, in fact, are against
Yep.
Western Conference
And then we're
opposition.
done with them, I think, right? Like that's it.
I think so. Yeah, it's all East after that. San Antonio, who are 4th place in the West, come into town this Saturday, August 30th at 7 p.m. Folks coming in, be mindful. Hamtramck Labor Day weekend festival going on, as if so. Just be mindful because driving is rough in Hamtramck at times with bumpy roads and construction and all that. Add even more potential traffic in there. Be warned. September.
Mount Elliott is worse, which is hard to believe that that could actually be the case. But yes, Mount Elliott is actually worse than it has been in quite a while.
They're repaving it, so that explains why. Um, Orange
Or
County on Saturday, September 6th, currently 8th place in the West. 4 days later, Detroit City gets to travel to the desert to take on New Mexico United. First time there since July of 2023. New Mexico is currently seventh in the West. And then fifth place, Lexington SC on September 20th. Oh, and probably because loan clauses, that will probably mean no odds two from that match.
Mm.
So, um, yeah, we warned you. Future might be bleak.
Right.
So can't say we warned you. Last thing on the field wise, and then we'll get to the unfortunate. In
Are we gonna do
between,
predictions for these, or are we no? We'll wait.
well, fuck it, why not? Because we don't know where we're going again. We've already predicted San Antonio. So I had draw. Sean, what was yours again
I
for
had a
San
win.
Antonio? You had win. Adam had loss. Orange County on the 6th. I think we can beat Orange County. It might be a grind. New
Yeah,
Mex
I think we
New
win
Mex
then. But
New Mexico midweek on the road, I think we lose.
interesting.
I don't know, man. We beat New Mexico when they were tops in the West. Fuck, I'm going draw versus New Mexico. I'll go draw. And win versus Lexington. I'll go 2 wins and a draw for the three after San Antonio. So I'm going. So if you count San Antonio, draw, win.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh well, I mean, spoiler. I'm going to say that I don't think we lose to a Western Conference team in this stretch. I think that we. I
On
think
the
that
alarm.
the New Mexico game. I don't know if that's a win or a draw. On the road, I'm a little sketchier on that one. Excuse me, especially on the road with on short rest. But I think we, have a puncher's chance in that, and it is most likely to be a kind of a squalid, tired 0-0 in the middle of like the last Wednesday game, like Wednesday. Um, and I think we win the other ones. Like, I mean, honestly, if we can play the way we played against Tampa Bay, I think we are favorites against um, all but maybe three or four teams in the league in either conference. Um, so, you know, I guess my hope is that we can just keep it going. Now, that's always tricky, right? You play well, like everyone wants to keep it going. No one quite knows what will keep it going. This is how superstitions are born. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I was really impressed with the way they played on Saturday night, and um, so I'm like the weatherman who thinks that today's weather is probably just going to keep going. Yeah, let's just do that again. That was fucking awesome.
What about you, Adam?
I would say they better beat Orange County. They better beat Orange County. They better beat Lexington. You know,
So you're putting
New
2 wins
Mexico's
for sure.
New Mexico's a little bit of a crapshoot. I'll go ahead and I'll say a draw against New Mexico. Because after Lexington on the 20th, you've got Lou City, North Carolina, and Loudoun, and then you've got to go on the road against Charleston and then Tampa Bay. And I know Tampa Bay's not the Tampa Bay that we're used to, but it's
But
still
They're
going to
two
be
wins away
difficult.
from a playoff spot.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's
Yeah,
still
we could very much be run into a Tampa Bay team that's like win or you're out of the playoffs.
yes, yes,
Um,
uh,
while we're in like, are we fourth or fifth? Like
exactly. So they need these wins before they hit that final stretch of the season. So yeah, I'm gonna go win against Orange County, draw against New Mexico, win against Lexington. Test
Mm.
DL-less against Lexington, but it'll
no,
still be okay because who knows? Maybe what is it? Maybe Isaiah LaFleur will be here by then.
Oh, the
Oh, yeah.
the onion guy, the
Yeah.
Philadelphia Union product.
Yeah.
Look, being the fifth best midfielder in the Union out of the Union Academy right now is pretty goddamn good. Like, this is um like they are producing a shitload of talent over the last like 5 years. Um and like that's we laugh about when top flight soccer fans tend to kind of denigrate players who don't quite make it at that level. But those are still astonishing players. And you got an academy that cranks out a bunch of nearly, first division, but not the very top of the very top of first division players. Like that's
U.S.
really fucking
international
good.
Paxton Aronson, for
Right.
example.
Well, Paxton Aronson, Brendan Aronson, Quinn Sullivan just got capped. His little brother Kevin is like the best kid his age in the world and is already signed to Man City. Um, and but like that's just the top line names. There's 10 or 12 professional midfielders that are between say 20 and 23 who came out of the Union Academy. Like that's a good academy. Like for real, like world good, like seriously, like one of the top 40 in the world. Um so
People might
yeah.
ask what goes on in Chester, Pennsylvania, that
Just
produced
like, and the
this.
thing is, it's like it's not that fucking hard. Like they just hired coaches, they did the humble work, right? Jim Curtin was there a long time and was really good at like getting people bought into doing the humble work. And that's what it takes is, patience, build slow, and you gotta be ruthless. You gotta move out coaches that aren't making players better. Um, but like that's it. It's not like they invested like $150 million of venture capital funds and came up with no, it's just a regular ass academy. They just did it right and funded and there was not a billionaire who was like, I need to see a return on investment in 3 years. Like, well, we're talking about making 8-year-olds great players, so you're talking about 10 years, dude. Like 10 years. Like that's if that's when you're starting at 8 years old. Like, come on, dude. It's not going to happen. Like you might luck into a situation where you've got like a 14-year-old who's just banging and ready to like burst onto the scene, and then you can pretend like you developed them, but that's not really you. Um, and that's what I'm saying. The union are doing it for real. Like they're developing real talent.
Oh yeah.
So,
Uh,
just to say, if we're getting this dude, he might be really good.
I hope so. I hope it happens soon too.
But he's got a ton of minutes. I looked up, he plays a lot in MLS Next. So I'm guessing they want to try him against adults and see what he's got because they want to see if they might want to give him minutes next year. They're that's a well-run club that's like planning for the next year and the year after that.
Indeed. Lastly, for on the field stuff, August 19th, Detroit City FC announced Nick Dasovich, first team coach, stepped down from his role in the press release. It was Dasovich listed this decision is solely due to personal life and family matters at this time. Dasso joined the team
Really,
during the
really, really need a soundboard for moments like this.
yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, maybe he's got a granny who's broken a hip and needs somebody to spoon her cereal into her mouth, and that's what Nick's gonna go do. But what this probably is you know, someone answering for the internal difficulties that we talked about at length over the last couple of months, where the players were feeling alienated. Da, 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 da. Um, that's my guess. Is that you know that there's some combination of this that he's got something else he can do, and we really needed someone to be accountable for these things we didn't like. Um, and it's so, awesome. Um, uh, it doesn't seem like the team has immediately collapsed in his after he was left.
After his
So,
departure.
um, but it didn't immediately collapse when Trevor and Tiffany left either. If you want to be snarky like that. So who knows? Who fucking knows? Maybe he's just the broken hip granny.
You wonder what they're going to do moving forward because with that spot, because I remember when Trevor was working without a assistant and it seems hectic, especially back in 2023 when they were, oh my God, when they didn't have any players, when they had like
Right.
what two players on the bench as reserves, and
Oh, prime
three
early
maybe.
intro
Yeah,
2022. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like a
I'm just wondering.
keeper
Yeah, a
and
keeper, and then like yeah, and then
Jamie's.
like Francis and uh
yeah,
somebody else.
yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be something that they fill this year, just because um I don't know. It's a tough. Even at this point in the season, it's got to be a tough go.
Well, we saw
Um,
that was that the we think that was maybe Danny Dicchio's son who was responding to that the tweet about
The one that the statement I'm about
uh,
to
right,
yeah, it's
right,
similar.
like who's making
no,
the
was it?
no who's making these deals. That was
Yes,
the majors
yes.
saying who's making these deals, like who's Trevor's not there, well, who is it?
It was a retweet from NGS that said who's making these deals, and it was a retweet from a major's tweet. Um, yes. And yeah, that was
So the implication of the response was that who do you think's doing it? They got it's fucking crazy. They got one guy doing all this. My response was like, now you're really at Detroit City. If you're Danny Dicchio and you're like, what? I got to fucking recruit the players too. Like this is like my third job. And Sean's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
And then
I
the
think
know,
it
the
I
meeting
think it's
ends
I
with
think it's
him
a little
leaving. Like
it's a
you
legitimate.
are really a Detroit City employee now.
Yeah,
Like
but
hell,
it's a legit. I think it's a legitimate question, Sean and Garrett. I mean, you got rid of the sporting director.
it's got to
Who
be
is?
Danny. Like it just seems like who, but like the thing, when we talked when we a month ago when we were really chewing the fat about Trevor getting canned. One of the things I said is the only way I could see this being hopeful at all is if this was the beginning of an establishment of a real scouting like panel directorate kind of situation. Like we're gonna overhaul this and we're gonna get people that can evaluate talent with data and people that like full-time scouts. We're gonna have like there's gonna be multiple opinions in every decision and like something like that. Fantastic. But that doesn't look like what they're doing. It looks like they're doing the old Detroit City thing of like, we let somebody go and there's just a little bit of the season left. So you can finish that job for now, right? And in the off season, we got you, bro. And they do not got you. That's the
um,
that's the thing I want to say, like, from personal experience, like, get paid now for doing the extra work. Okay, that's all I'm putting out there.
Well, it's a perfect segue too. So go ahead, Garrett.
I was also going to say because I counter Sean talked about the new generation potentially, and my thought is, oh, they're just going to put patron saint Dave Dwayhe in the interim role for a few months in his new full time FO role, just because if basically they've already seen the success of the formula for the women's team in 2022. We know we shall see. Only time will tell, folks. Part two time. We already told you it was that this was the football stuff was the most positive. We're already warming you up, so we might as well fucking go into it. Saturday afternoon, middle of the day, doing some stuff at my home office, which is I'm staring directly across at on my couch right now,
Are you talking about your
and
coffee table, your home office? Don't get fancy.
My home office. Like, look,
my rough.
it's
You
where I
mean
look at this is where I look at the medium sized screen before I log off and go look at the big screen.
no? You know the table. You know, Adam. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm talking about. My ruckety ass table with my workstation across the street, across the living room. So, point being, fooling through Instagram, I see a nicely done press release from Northern Guard supporters, and it reads as this: as I incorrectly put my pin in my tablet, and now we go. Starting last home match and continuing forward, we will not be flying flags, hanging banners, or popping smoke. Our support is reduced because the club we support has been reduced. There are many reasons for our protest, but here are the main three. Number one, the club's treatment of Trevor James and Tiffany Ebert James. These two legends of the club deserved a better, more respectable send off than the few comments they received. The front office's continued lack of explanation and sidestepping of the truth has been unacceptable. Statement two, the continued degradation of communications from the club. Whether your issue is proofreading, mailing list, injury reports, or anything in between, the quality of the club's communication with all stakeholders is getting worse. It should not be up to a player to disseminate their own injury news to fans in a professional football club. Statement three, performances on the pitch. Despite starting the season strong, the team has fallen flat over the last 4 months with no effort to change course. We support the players no matter what, and all we ask is that the players and coaching staff give their 100% to earn our support. That has not been the case. Final paragraph. This does not come from a place of malice or hatred. In fact, it comes from the exact opposite love and support. We love this club. The front office claims supporters built this club, so we are using the power we have built to demand better from the front office and the play on the field. Up the fucking city. NGS Detroit. Gentlemen, let's talk about it. Adam, you want to go first?
Uh, yeah. What do you want to hear from me?
Just it's been 2 weeks since we've done our last recording.
Hmm.
We had a nice fun continue. It's been a summer of thoughts, so to speak, in general. Um, it's 2 weeks since our last episode. Do you honestly feel like it's been? Have you seen anything to suggest that everything may get better from here in an off the field sense, or is it just like?
Summer thoughts, summer thoughts, summer thoughts. Sorry.
Um,
Boom, boom, boom. God damn, I gotta beat fuck Sean.
um, no, I don't. I mean, and I hate saying that. I don't. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think that it's gonna get better. And I wanna make sure that I want to be clear myself because I think that the points themselves were obviously I think they're pretty clear, but um I mean I think the Trevor and Tiffany thing was clear, and I think that that the team, the club has had issues in the past when it comes to parting with club legends, and Tiffany and Trevor were no different in that sense. And that's unfortunate. And I think that um I think like a lot of people, I think, me myself, my opinion that and you've heard us go on about this too, in multiple podcasts, whether it's Tunnel Talk or 451, things could have been better. That could have been handled better. And I don't need to go into that any further because we've talked about it over and over again. The second point was again, I think that this needs to be clear, maybe a little bit more clear. And I'm hoping that this is, the basis of it is that there shouldn't be an attack on employees of the club. I think that this needs to go to the higher ups and catch their attention that this is a club, this is a front office that needs help. I think we've all been in jobs where we've been overworked, where we've had to wear multiple hats and shit gets stressful. And I have a feeling that that's kind of what's happening here. And I don't want there to be negative, I don't want there to be any negative repercussions on employees of the club. The day to day, what do they call it?
Boots on the ground.
Yeah, I don't think that that's what that was directed towards. This was directed towards an FO that I think, for as much as they are investing in the future of this club, I think that they need to invest in the present of this club. And that is the people, what I think they need to do is provide better support for the people who are working for them right now. Because I've heard it before. I've heard that this club is very, very lightly staffed. Um, and I again, like I said, we've all held jobs before where, we've had to do multiple things, and we get to the point where we get stressed out and tired and frustrated, and perhaps that's what's happening here. I just don't want that to I don't want that to be seen as an attack on the workers, but more so a criticism of
Well, I mean,
the higher ups.
yeah, it's like this clearly is a concept that they are having a hard time believing about themselves.
Hmm.
Because if they took an honest and careful self appraisal on these matters, I think they would say, okay, we have room for growth here, right? Like I am consciously using corporate speak about this, so they don't have to translate it at all. They can just use what we're talking about directly at work. Um,
And Sean, it
and
seems like it
uh,
seems like have things were better. It seemed like from that standpoint when they were in NPSL. And you would
um,
figure that things would have gotten better. Well, like I'm not talking
well,
about. I'm sorry. Go ahead, because
yeah,
I know you have better insight than I do on
You've been
this.
in the
But
thick of it.
yes,
in the end, like it is impossible, very difficult to compare the scope of the business that we were running as an NPSL club to the scope of the business that they're running today.
fair.
Um, it is, you know, um, it's like elephants and elephant seals. um, uh, and the elephant that we're trying to swallow right now, I think, like these things move through time. I think what happens consistently, this is not a matter of these guys being like, fuck them bitches, those workers never do shit. Like, they're not like that. Like, they are absolutely not. They are sometimes a little bit boss like, where you've wrinkled out an innovation for them in the past, and they're like, okay, can you just do that again, or do that every day? That'd be great. And you're like, okay, look, that was like an insight that took me 3 weeks to kind of like work into something useful. No, I can't do that every day. And so that's the bossish type stuff, but they're not like unsympathetic or lacking empathy, right? What happens is they overload themselves, they start falling behind on things, and it all rolls downhill, and the organization has never been sufficiently staffed out enough for the organization to absorb that sort of downsliding of things to do. You know what I mean? um there's not sufficient people at the bottom where, you know, when things get pushed onto the heads of the departments, and then the heads of the departments kind of push things onto their you know, the people who report to them, and then that the half of that gets pushed onto the interns. It's not stuff that, you know, like in that case, it's things that interns are probably pretty psyched to handle. You know, like, oh, this is real work. This is why I came here. I'm going to do some real work. But it's not like, oh, okay, well, oh, you showed the ability to do some real work. Now you're a full-time employee who's getting paid $100 a day, and that's the way that is until like you come to us and like demand to be like turned loose. Please, like we'll just be like, you can come here every day. Um, you know, so like it's like as much as they want to get ahead of it, the business just keeps outgrowing them. You know, it keeps kind of leaping ahead of them, and they'll staff up like, okay, this structure is enough to handle the next, and then the next lead completely outstrips it. You know, and now we're dealing with capital projects, which really probably should be a whole like wing of the front office. You know, that should be like 3 or 4 people working full time, and it's Kevin, Kevin, Sean, and Todd, and then some like these new board members and some hired guns. Like, but we're not getting 100% anybody, right? It's like, you know, 20% of 18 different people, and that's how we're handling that. And like, you know, I think it's a combination of them consistently sort of overestimating how much they personally can get done, and then that same overestimation happening with every person in the as they look at every person in their organization. um and so they massively overestimate, you know, by the time you get down cascaded down through 40 people, um all of whom you expect to do 140% of what's possible, um you're going to shoot way behind, way under everything. You know what I mean? You're not going to get everything done.
And
and it's just like I don't know how to convince them to just hire more people. And like, look, I know hiring sucks and it's hard, but there are so many people who would love for a chance to do whatever it is they do, but in a situation where the money isn't leaving town and the people they work for aren't, you know, like complete assholes. Because I mean, like,
well,
so many people work for complete assholes. Trust me.
um,
I don't know.
Sean,
Yeah.
I think a
But
couple of things I want to.
that's my unrealistic socialist mind, right? Who's thinking, why not just pay people to do work instead of like flogging the 12 people you got? But whatever, man. What do
And
I
and
know?
that's the thing, and that's something I wanted to reiterate too, because I think that the people that they have there in the front office are incredibly talented people. I think they're really good at what they do. Um, but it doesn't matter how good at you are at something. If you're being overworked, if you're getting stressed out, everybody needs help
Well, and like, you
when it
know,
comes to doing what they do.
and
Um,
if you work for a soccer team, you you were building a resume with a soccer team, which is the work
yes,
everyone wants to do. And the first thing you need is some experience with a soccer team. So
yes,
what you're going to see if you keep overworking people and not paying the like market rate, the people are going to leave as soon as they can. Like, I mean, I'm hearing that Kyle Clayton's leaving, right? And going to CBS.
that's what I
Um,
heard. Yeah,
that's, you know, and of course he is. Like, wouldn't you? Like,
dude's talented as hell.
he's talented as hell. He's working hard, and like, you know, like that's why you don't wait to hire the next one up when he leaves. You hire them and have them working together. And you know, yes, you have to pay for 2 professionals there. Yes, you do,
Yeah,
because you're going to constantly churn that position. Like, I'm sorry, it's expensive to do things right, but I would
have
just
they
want us
even
to start doing things right. Like,
and it's
look,
been yeah, I was
I
gonna say it's been 5 months since their talented graphic designer got poached by the Pistons. When talented people are going to get the opportunity to progress in their careers. It's the circle of opportunity. But you can't just top when they leave, you can't just throw their duties on multiple people
right.
like they have continued to do regardless of what league that
Well,
they're in.
like I think that gets back to the way they always ran things in the NPSL. Like you just literally could not. You couldn't afford the people we had, right? So we couldn't afford like a backup or somebody who's working into the position. Like, are you fucking kidding? But like when you're a company that is the guarantor of a $150 million fucking project, like you do need to have the backups in place. Like you can't just like have people leaving and be like, oh darn, graphic arts, like like graphic arts is my passion. I'll fire up word art. Let's get it popping. Like no, dude, no. You need to have two people in that job. So when one of them leaves, you've got one, and then you hire a second one, right? Like you need two Jarretts, you need two Ryans, you need two of all this. Um, and that's I guess my criticism of the structure is that you need to devote more of it to like rank and file payroll of the people
Rank and
that
file, that's
actually.
the word. That's what I was looking for earlier. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Boom. Is it bad that my version of the Pawn Stars meme today, if Detroit's it, the best we can offer is MS Paint?
Sorry.
Well, I wanted to touch on something that Sean has mentioned too about the business getting too big, and that's something that really worries me when it comes to this club and kind of losing itself in all of this because if it's getting too big for the OGs that are there right now, which are the guys that I think that are going to are kind of like the last lines of keeping this club what it has been. Um, if it's getting too big in that sense, what I think we're eventually going to see are other people coming to the table who don't give a shit about where this club came from, who built it. Um,
I mean,
what
do
they're going
we
to care
really?
about is getting the best return on their investment.
Yeah, do we really
And
think that the next time MLS comes calling that we'll say no?
no, I don't. And that's the terrifying thing about this is that I don't think that we are going to say
I mean, maybe they
maybe
will.
they may
Maybe they
say
will.
no.
Like, look, they do go their own way. All right. Like, I'm not, it's not like these guys just rolling over or whatever, um, but they have kind of abrogated trust, and so you start to wonder, like, well, what all is on the table, and that there is a pretty tempting scenario wherein they each cash like fuck you money checks and are
Yes,
and like leave town, like fuck you, bye, thanks for the 100 mil, and like what is that to MLS? You pay half
nothing.
$500 million for the rights, and then you just split it between these everybody. There you go, you each get 100 mil. Like, would you take it? Would you betray Detroit City? Of course you would, probably, right? Like, right, you would. And they're
That's
like, and
life-changing
so
money.
like that's what I'm saying. Like, look, this is the world we live in. And we've attracted the glance of Leviathan, so we don't really have a lot of control over what happens.
Um, the last point, it was the performance point, and this was kind of like the most shocking thing for me, kind of, is when that statement was released, it seemed like that was the portion of the statement that was getting the most criticism. And I wanted the statement wasn't reading out like, oh, don't go to games anymore. There was nothing about that in the statement. It says stop supporting the team, stop um stop going to games. There was none of that. But it seems like people took it that way, which is again, it's kind of perplexing to me. And um I don't I hate I don't like this thought amongst supporters that a team is should be devoid of any criticism. Especially this men's team, because there's a big difference this men's team is a professional team, and they've been professional since 2020. Um, I think it's okay to take a different approach with a pro team as opposed to an amateur team. Um, I came in during the tail end of the men's amateur side. I was here for um, NPSL Pro, um, and I've been here for the entire time of the women's amateur side. Um, I think that I think it's okay to criticize a team in different ways based on what type of team they are, whether they're amateur, they're pro. Men's team is pro. Um, like I said, I think that I think it's okay to levy a different type of criticism towards them because of that. And like I said, there was nothing in that statement about cutting off complete support, not showing up to any games. Because there's a couple of people in there and be like, well, why don't you just not show up to games? I don't think that's not what supporters do. They don't abandon the club like that. However, there are certain points of leverage that supporters groups do have.
Right.
Um,
You're just not doing the organized things. We're not organized
yes,
chanting. We're not popping off smoke at certain times. We're,
exactly. Now, are there other things that can happen down the road that supporters and supporters groups like the Northern Guard can take advantage of? That leverage that they have in some sense, if the team continues to, if the team fucks up on the pitch continually, or if, things happen in the front office that, that doesn't sit right with supporters. Yes, there are other things that can happen. But like I said, I was like I said, I was a little perplexed at why that was the most, controversial thing of that whole statement.
it seems to me reading through some of the comments of the people who were, having out the statement. I get the impression maybe they don't watch the matches that intently.
That's
Because
exactly, Sean.
it's
Yes.
like were you not paying attention like 6 weeks ago when the team was like whatevering like for the whole match, just showing up and going, we don't know, fuck this, man. Eat a
Losing at
dick,
home to
fuck
Hartford.
you. I mean, like, just it's not the results that bothered me, although the results were awful. It was the manner of the results. It was the tone of play. It was like feckless and like,
Yes.
you know, it was some bullshit football.
It's
And
and it's okay to want more from that. It's okay
right,
to not be
exactly.
okay with that.
And like, and I feel like these guys come back like they'll come in 3 weeks later. We've had a couple good results and be like, bro, what are you even saying, bro? And like, well, do you know that time exists? Are you aware that time exists, right? Like every day is another day. It's a new day, right? It's not the same day you're trying over. You know that, right? Um, like I don't know, but like a lot of what I'm talking about is online arguing, which is people just pretending to be dumb about the simplest things so they can make what you said dumb. Like, okay, sure.
Gentlemen, both that I've had a fun 3 weeks lately where I'm like,
You've
where I was like,
slobber
Sean,
knocker.
yeah, Sean, when you said you went through the comments, I was like, I took a glance, I was like, no, man, I'm not doing that. There's been enough battles. I'm not going through a war of attrition um, just because some feathers were ruffled by words that were, words from the heart that were said.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate that people have feelings about this. I do.
And I think that, in some ways, that's kind of what I'm saying to the front office is like, look, if you have a different story, then tell that story.
Yeah.
Like, if you have reasons for the things, whatever, like I I'm pretty sure I'm in their phones. I know they're in my phone. Like they can talk to me anytime they like reach out and I will get back to them 100%. If there's something if there's some conclusion we're drawing based upon limited data that we're kind of going in the wrong direction, okay, well, if we're wrong, then just tell us, man. Like don't
Explain yourself.
right, right. Like tell, like we've said it again and again and again and again, like tell the fucking story, tell the club story, tell the story. What are we doing? Why is it better now? What's happening? Like this seems like a glimmer of light within the play. What is anything off the field causing this? Or are we just to conclude that it's all random and that we just hope that the wheel spins in our direction every fucking week? Like, no, you don't. That is an incoherent strategy to market a thing. People want a story. Like, tell the. I'm doing it again. I'm ranting about
No, you're
this
not. No,
for
you're
like the
you're
ninth time. Like, but
You're
Sean, you're
cooking.
cooking right now. Keep
You're
going.
cooking. You're cooking.
like just
You're making the greatest pizza that's ever about to exist
yeah,
right
I
now.
just you know the I do think that we have been through a time um, where there was like internal politics, like hardcore internal politics inside the club for the first time, really. Because the club's been too small, really, to have like when the owners are unified, well, that's half the people. Like, okay. Um, and we've come through this time with internal politics where, in my view, the team that should have lost won. But that's football, right? Like we sometimes it doesn't matter that you put all the trophies on the in the cabinet. They like the other guy. All right. Okay. Um, and but part of what like the blindsiding of that has led to a reevaluation of, I think, on a lot of people's mind, and certainly in mine, of their reliability as truth tellers in this manner. And then when you push them and say, hey, like really, like, come on, tell me the truth now, and they give you like a kind of a machine printed statement of like very PR-ness that kind of doesn't that basically just says like we're in charge and you're not, and that will continue to be the case forever. Suck a dick, okay, well, no one's challenging that, dude. Like what we're saying is we're disappointed in these decisions. Do you have a reason that we should not be? And what we seem to be getting is just sort of like a pearl clutching that we dared impugn their dignity, like, okay, like settle down. Like we're not trying to have a duel here. Like we believe in you. We have demonstrably believed in you and given over portions of our life and our creative work to supporting you. So acting like the very first time we say, oh, we have some questions about this, or we're disappointed in this, like that you're like, oh my God, it's like, do you even believe? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? That behavior right there reinforces our fear that you are up to some bullshit. Because, like, dude, stop and tell us the truth, and like and we'll be good, like we really will be good.
Is this
But
a do
I
the?
don't
Is this a do the? Is this a moment where I can you channel Spike Lee and just say
I just
do the right thing?
well, I mean, there has like I have a feeling that the prevailing theory behind the scenes is that there's an ineffable amount of competitive advantage to hiding your intentions or your plans, um, or your thought process. Like you never know what part of the your algorithm someone's going to capitalize upon, so you just kind of keep it all as shrouded as possible. A very paranoid kind of modern view of how to structure a business. And I think that's just winning the day in the back room right now.
And I
Um,
think I keep
and
thinking back
I
to
think, but I think it's like, okay, well, like then this is then us getting pissed with you and turning on you is a price you're paying for that. It's not like it's a price you should have anticipated. You should be anticipating. You should have had a strategy to deal with. Like I keep saying, like you guys, you're just not as good at this as you think you are. And I'm not saying I'm better, but like I can poke holes in what you're doing so readily, and other people can do so. Like they're not all just fools, right? We're not, people aren't out here just like, well, I guess Detroit City's my only thing I'm into, and I can't think at all. That's not your fan base, bro. That's Lions fan base. Let's be real. Um, so come on.
This is a fan base, this is a supporters base that is extremely um nerdy. I mean, this is a fan base, supporters base that overanalyzes everything, that goes and does forensics on training session pictures to see who is playing for the club and
Right.
who
Like
is, you
identifying
know,
guys by like, okay, no, no, I can see that you can see
yeah,
the back of that boot is this boot this
yeah,
guy's wearing over
who
here.
who scours Instagram and see who is following who to see who the next potential Jordan Abadeo Smith is going to be. Um,
Who will look at certain numbers over the years when certain color combinations are used in kits. It's me. Hi, I'm the guy here.
I mean, yeah, like um I guess like this is my plea to them is to stop protesting that we should have no questions and just answer the questions. Like, or explain cleverly why you cannot. Like that would be an explanation I could handle if you could say, look, and it's almost like it sounds like you need to hire a person who could do that.
Which is
Because
funny because they have a PR group that they've been working with for this stadium,
like the thing is like see this
right?
is the yeah but that's part of the creep of the bad shit, right? Is that like they're working with a PR group, like how like this PR group is going to view them the way they view any other client, right? They're just going to be like it's a series of symbols, a series of signifiers. None of it's real. It's just you know um
Flat circle.
yeah
Because that's all I think of. I think of that True Detective quote about time. Often, time
yeah
is a flat circle.
yeah maybe the PR group is too expensive to do routine work. But like, for me, I would, I think they ought to be investing in like they need to be putting money into documentary stuff and like, you know, those kind of things. But again, that's like what more projects, like who's going to do that? Jarrett, you know, he's already like, you know, overwhelmed a lot of the time. And uh, around and around we go. Um,
The Aerosmith "Round and Round" from Toys in the Attic, not "Round and Round" by Rat. Just so we're clear for those
the
music
first,
aficionados.
the hair metal hit, "Round and Round" by Rat. I remember when that came on the radio. I was like in middle school, I think, maybe like eighth grade, and it was like, wait a minute, like a heavy metal song on the radio? Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like "Come On Feel the Noise" by which was Quiet Riot covering Slade, and then was it Slade or Sweet? I think it was Slade. Yeah, and that sparked, and then "Round and Round," and yeah, man, shit's
I mean,
wild.
come on, Philly noise. Like, I guess, sure, but it like that always felt like a novelty song. Like the way they performed it was so like
Manufactured.
ridiculous. Yeah, it felt very like professional wrestling. And that was before the last 5 years where professional wrestling is like suddenly this understood art form that everyone's into. Back when it was like, you know, you mean the fake wrestling? So
Before an ABC News reporter gets slapped and has now permanent ear damage because they were kayfabe. Yeah, shit's wild, man. But yeah, God,
what were
now I
we
want to think
talking
about.
about?
I don't know. It's
Adam,
been a while.
help. What are we talking about?
You were
I
talking
do have
round and round, and then I talked, and then I brought in the
Yeah.
music, and then shit went down the rails.
I do have some news when it comes to professional wrestling and USL. Um, I don't know if
Oh
this
my
is real or
God,
not.
yes.
It has to be real. Who's
Too,
official league? Correct me if I'm
too weird to be fake.
Um, AEW official league. We are proud to announce a new partnership with All Elite Wrestling, featuring new collaborations with select USL clubs. These limited edition capsule collections will release later this September. And it looks like they're featuring Orange County, El Paso, and the River Hounds. So
Ooh.
lower league wrestling for lower league soccer,
So that's what
apparently.
I saw in my group chat with Pup, Kate, and Laura, where everyone's like, "Sean, man, do the right fucking thing." Somebody was going nuts on that. So I
God,
didn't.
I yeah, I don't want to. Also, there was some other stuff that came out with the stadium tonight.
I'll be right
Um,
back.
Wait, so we drop it. Are we doing breaking news immediately? Like for the ink isn't even the audio, whatever. I can't think of the fucking digital version of the ink isn't even dry yet. Fuck.
yeah, well, it looks like I don't know, it sounds like they're planning on doing grass at the new stadium. Um, the fence line, it looks like the supporters are going to be spread out. I'm assuming along the first row, so it won't be going at the top row. I'm guessing. And then they'll be 12 feet from the touch line. And um, and the main investor for the Michigan Panthers says that he keeps on coming back to Alumni Field and potentially, maybe having the Panthers play at Alumni Field or Alumni Five Field. Um, since rumors going around that the Panthers are going to be moving out of Michigan. So I don't know. We'll see.
Is it possible to both love and hate an idea?
Sure. Which one is it?
The idea of the Panthers playing at Alumni Five Field.
No, I'm with you.
It's like, okay, could you do that on like we'll put a tray of artificial turf out for you?
Here-
Like, oh no,
we're
when they
gonna
got
have to
grass again,
invest.
and it's gonna be like all chopped up because of fucking gridiron team. It'll have fucking
Um,
stripes on it.
Not the
no,
good
that's.
turf, not the good grass.
Can you imagine we get our own stadium? We get our own stadium. It looks, this beautiful state of the art stadium. Well, not state of the art, but state of the art as you can get for Detroit City FC.
Right.
And then we end up having lines, American football lines on it, and
God.
torn up grass.
What
It's like one of
what
those
is
things where
this?
you're like,
2021 Nisa
But the
I
Nisa
under,
Summer
but
all
the
over
thing
again?
is, the
I
thing is,
understand.
goes until what? June.
Yeah, they're like in PSL basically, right?
Yes,
It's like a
yes. It's a
32-month
it's a
season.
spring it's a spring league. So the the the
April to
grass might
July.
only yeah the grass might only be fucked up for the first half of the season.
I don't know,
Um,
man.
it again. I mean, if it's
Although, I'm
it,
sure that the idea of having more dates filled, which is
yeah,
the big bugaboo when you're opening a stadium, is like, okay, but there's only 30 days that we're going to be open. Like, how are we going to make this money back?
Two things: dates and are Panthers throwing money into this, and if so, how much?
they would have to. I mean, well, it's not going to be the Pan. I don't know if it'll be the Panthers. It's probably because what's the UFL owned by? Aren't they owned in part by Fox?
Fox
So
and Fox and Dwayne Johnson, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to I mean you would have to assume that'd be some Fox money.
Fox in the rack.
Yeah, maybe being thrown at it. And
Sorry.
it's and I don't know, like again, you've got bills to pay. I mean,
Was that
depending
Fox on the
on
Run, Spence?
No, no, Fox in the Rock.
Okay, I was thinking Sweet Fox on the
Oh,
Run.
depending on what they come to the table with, I don't know. It might be hard to turn something like that down. Potentially. Potentially.
God. What are you going to say next? They're going to tell us to be sure to drink more Ovaltine, Adam?
Well, I
I
mean
mean,
it's
you know,
Son of a bitch.
the uh the long road to our bright socialist future does not lie through Detroit City failing to market themselves,
Is it bad that I want the soundboard now because I want to just have when we start doing this, we just automatically start playing the anthem of the USSR because it's a banner anthem. It's a banner anthem.
it is good. I uh I spent a lot of time I fall down rabbit holes sometimes on the internet, as one does. And the other night I tried to find like
Tangent here. Hi.
the ultimate version of Bella Ciao. Um, I must have listened to Bella Ciao like, I don't know, 35 times in a row.
Oh God.
Before I decided there is no ultimate version of Bella Ciao. It's like, well, this one's good for this. This one's good for this. Some like a lot of the ones that are very good in the middle are too dramatic at the beginning. They're very, da, 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 da,
Where does
like,
Chumbawamba's rank?
uh,
God.
in the middle. It's
That's
fine.
actually higher than I was expecting.
I
Shit.
mean, it's like spirited. Chumbawamba are communists, so I don't. They can get down with Bella Ciao all day long. They're not just singing it because it's a cool melody. One of those old modes.
Hell yeah, brothers. Um, well, we've gone quite a bit. We've gone to things. We've done some many fun progressive music time signature like levels of movement on there. We got anything else we want to go into off the field stuff, or should we go into closing thoughts?
I will say that if you want a playlist of songs with weird time signatures, I have one on Google Music. It's called
Ooh,
Time. I think it's searchable if you want to just find it. It's Time by Sean Spence. It starts off with um, Blue Rondo a la Turk by Dave Brubeck 5. Um, Followed up by $20 from Boy Genius. Which is in 7/4. So yeah.
that's a great. That's whenever I think 7/4, I often think of Rush song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rush loves 7/4.
Yes, they do. I think Red Bark Shadow's on there. I think that some of that's in 7/4.
hmm
Um, so yeah. Wow, we just blew the top off the content level of this right here. Like, let's reminisce about our favorite songs in odd time signatures.
Next thing you know, we're gonna go back to Thursday trivia playlist that fucking 2019 that Sean and I would come up with.
Right.
Oh God. All right, Adam, closing thoughts.
No,
Nah,
it's,
nah, dog.
I think the what is it? The theme of this episode is transparency.
Ooh.
You're like, to be transparent as possible, no thoughts at all.
Yeah.
Episode title. Timestamp this bitch.
Yeah.
Or transparency, and then parentheses. Tell the story. Tell the story. Tell the story. Tell the story. um, Sean, what about you? You got any closing thoughts?
Um, Yeah, I would like everyone to send up little prayers for me over the next month or so. The Domino's has decided the 9.99 million topping special is something they want to bring back, not for a week, but for like 5 weeks.
Oh God.
Um, and what that means is that like Domino's pizza is like the cheapest food you can buy, basically, and we are getting slaughtered. So yeah, that's that's great, because like that we're going to staff right up to handle that extra demand. We're not going to just count on the same people to just work harder.
That's funny you say that,
It's
considering what we
funny.
just talked about.
Yeah, it's funny that it's like there's a system that encourages certain kinds of behavior by a predatory ownership class, but I don't know what I'm talking about. So let's have a pleasant evening, everybody.
Do they give out free T-shirts? Because I just think about that when you were talking
They
about
don't
the
they don't give
banks.
anything free.
Uh,
Do they give
Yeah.
uh,
pizza parties to kind of smooth things
Oh
over?
hell no. Yeah. No.
I guess you can't do that.
Yeah. Just give away pizzas. Like you go ahead and make yourself one. Like I already did. Like occasionally they'll do the thing like this is the thing that like restaurant people and food people like every so often like maybe, and it's not like once a year, it's more like once every 8 months. No matter where you work, someone in the with the decision making capacity is going to be like, what if we told the employees they couldn't eat any of the food? We'd save a bunch of money, they think, right? But what you find when you do that is you don't really save a lot of money. Because the truth of it is the employees typically navigate toward cheap things or things they can make very quickly and eat on the fly. And what you are absolutely doing is courting, uh, like a group of pissed off, hungry employees. And so it doesn't matter where you are, like fine dining place, McDonald's, everywhere in between. They'll try this every 8 months, and within a week they're like, we are relaxing the prohibitions on eating during the shift. And you're like, hey, what a surprise, so yeah, I no, they won't they won't give us pizzas because they know we can just take them.
You didn't take Sarah out for pizza for her birthday, did you?
Oh no, no, no.
oh shoot, she wouldn't. No,
No, no, no.
You didn't take her
Yeah,
to Domino's Farms for her birthday, did you?
yeah.
you do anything for love,
No,
Sean, but you
and we're
wouldn't
going to the
do
good
that.
Domino's. The good Domino's. I think I probably work at the good Domino's, so I don't know. I mean, Grand Blanc is, a low crime area, let's say. But I'm doing finger quotes there. Low crime. You can suss out what that means. We're probably not going to have federal troops in Grand Blanc, Like, uh, hey,
Anyway, Domino's is offering 9.90 whatever for the next 5 or so weeks. So
God, yes. Like into October, I think. You gotta be
Oh man,
kidding
we
me.
need that. We need that Domino's money. Send this episode
Uh,
to him, Sean.
we're gonna just yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, then they could fire me, but then I'll take unemployment. Like, fine. I'll take 6 months. I'll take 6 months to find a job this bad. Like, it's fine. Yeah. That's a whole different podcast, man. We'll
yeah,
have to start a new one where I talk
God.
about working in the food business.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't have a title right now. Shit's going on loud. I am gonna say kind of something from me. I'll get a little bit personal. I talked about this in the opening of our Short City Sportscast last night with Adam. For those that a lot of people know already right now, Wednesday is going to be 3 weeks since my mom's passed, and I have noticed throughout the um but with all the outreach and the outpouring and the significance of people, and I highly appreciate everything. And a lot of it is from the relationships that I became because of Detroit City FC and the people met over the years. I've also noticed the constant in that has been a unique way of helping navigate through, and that is sport. Whether I was mainly talking it yesterday so much with the Tigers, in fact, as they're playing right now. But even as I'm noticing in the moments spent through with soccer stuff, whether it's just watching Palace or Eintracht Frankfurt in the morning with folks, or even just lately the city matches, like having enjoying in the company of near and dear close friends of ours and dinner and all those type things. I find myself appreciative of the fact that this thing that yes, we aren't happy with a lot of things of it right now, but there is a lot of great things that have come from it, and these things are also helping navigate us through these times. And I'm just saying, really appreciative of that. And, you know, I was also glad that I was there on Saturday and not in a massive weather delay stunk other media tent like Adam was, unfortunately.
Wasn't that bad.
Wasn't it? It
Go ahead.
seemed a lot
Go
worse.
ahead.
Seemed a lot worse on the thing, but
They
uh,
dropped pizza off.
It's a theme. What ties us all together? Pizza.
oh, Michi's
Oh
Pizza.
man.
uh, I haven't had a Michi's say since the last time I was at Keyworth, which has now been 2 months. So uh, maybe maybe I'll just return. I ain't here for the match. I'm here for the Amichis. But yeah, no, that's kind of like my point on there. Sean Spence, how angry are your cats? Should we tell them where to send cat pics to?
Um, no, I mean, absolutely. Send catpacks to me. My name is Shield Chafing online. CYLDSEEAFING at Gmail and Twitter and Blue Sky and other places, but I don't really check other places. Like I think I have an Instagram account, which I remember like once a week when I get an update in my email that says, the following people liked you or something. Why? I don't. Yeah, it's got to be like AI or something, It's like,
Oh, what the fuck?
yeah, I'll be your AI girlfriend. Like, I'm solid, man. Thanks. Um, yeah, send cat pics. But I mean, just generally put cat pics out in the world. If you've got good cat pics, just post them everywhere. Like, the world needs more of that shit.
100%.
Just joyous little dudes.
That could occasionally be fucking assholes, but we love them for it. Um,
Wrong.
cats, man.
Sorry.
Cats, man.
Sorry. I'm very pro cat.
Cats.
I
Love
already, I
cat.
already
Like if
sent, I
you
already sent my cat pic to Sean
Yeah,
too.
if
So
you think they're being assholes, then you're just not understanding them, okay? Yeah, yeah, it's like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the pop's like, Dad, finish this. I'm
Yeah,
hungry.
he is.
Adam.
He just jumped up on the back of my chair, like, isn't it time? Wow, an action shot. Amazing. What is he
oh yeah,
swiping at?
it's like one of those little fishing pole type
Oh,
things.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not even a
the
year old yet, so he's still in that
he's
stage. So
super bouncy. Yeah, I
yeah.
love when well, we've got brothers, so they're the same age, and they a lot of times when they fight. Um, they go for like radically different tactics. It's fascinating to watch them try different things, So does lighter, but has longer legs and like is quicker. Um, so yeah, he's figured out a few things at work, and then Pony like is bigger, and so he tries to kind of pin Soda in a corner and just like smash him. And then I do intervene occasionally when it looks like okay, look, like
Go ahead,
hey,
break it up. Break
yeah,
it up.
whoa. I mean, you just want to like I think the cats do learn through repetition, and if you just kind of constantly tell them like that's far enough, they generally will figure it out. So, in my
Hell yeah.
experience,
Hell yeah.
Man, we are way off. Like I'm into I
Yeah, no, we're not
apologize to.
telling. No, we're not telling people what we said. We're not telling people what
Oh,
we said before.
Lily Jekyll verbally committed to Notre Dame. She just announced
Oh,
tonight.
Holy breaking,
Yeah.
breaking news.
breaking,
Ding ding ding. Oh, there's
ding,
pictures.
ding.
Like they got pictures of her in a Notre Dame kit holding up a Notre Dame flag. So yeah, she's a
Congratulations to Lily.
Hmm.
congrats, Lily.
All right, I'll admit the truth. We did talk about how the fact that this episode might be below an hour. Oh, whoopsies. uh, congrats, Lily Jekyll. Um, it's 2020 fall 2027 then? Your name? Is that correct? She start or she fall 28.
I have no idea.
Spence, are you muted?
Oh, maybe I
uh,
was. Maybe I was. Am I muted? Can you hear me?
uh, yeah, loud and clear. What
Okay, I was muted.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it. Well, like Twitter did the thing where it updates, where it's like, you watched this long
Oh,
enough. Like,
yeah,
fantastic. I remember when
great.
this app didn't suck. And that was even
Thanks.
before it was like Nazi stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't look at Twitter that much anymore, like twice a day. Like, okay, it's my punishment.
Uh, Adam, what about you? Where can folks find your stuff? Majors Detroit, all that stuff.
Find me at TMS Next Adam on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram. You can find the majors, themajorssports.com, on YouTube, youtube.com/majors TV. Find all the Detroit stuff, detroit.themajorsports.com.
Nice.
Find all of our podcasts. Well, you can link up to them through the website, on Apple, Spotify. Like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, help that algorithm out. Uh, and yeah, there you go.
You can find me, GM Comets on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and GM Comets at bsky.social. 451 DET for the Channel 451 crew. Another episode of Tunnel Talk coming in later this week. And yeah, I think really, I'm not sure when we'll be back with another one. It may not be maybe another bi-weekly. We'll see. We'll see what life throws at us. We need to make sure Sean is at tip top shape, no matter how much Domino's is throwing at him. And we, in the meantime, as we are entering into Labor Day weekend and the start of September and the unofficial end of summer and the beginning of autumn, which is mind blowing to say the least, but I'm welcoming the cooler temperatures. Just take it, I'd say my approach to Detroit City FC is kind of like maybe a good approach to life. One day at a time as it comes. Um, Take nothing for granted, you know, keep an eye out on those near and dear to you. And until next time, we go onward. Call.